The Sun Prairie Area School District Superintendent will be leaving to lead a different school district in Wisconsin. Thanks for joining us tonight at 9. I'm Mackenzie Davis. Tonight we learned that Dr. Brad Saron will be leaving Sun Prairie after he was chosen to become the superintendent for the Chippewa Falls Area Unified School District. WMTV's Sam Swartz has been working to learn more about this transition tonight and joined us live from the newsroom on how some district parents are reacting to this change. Sam?
Hey, Mackenzie, this announcement comes after the district has been in the limelight for the past couple of months following criminal charges against staff, changes in school leadership, and contentious board meetings. I met with a Sun Prairie parent who says while he's relieved to see some movement, he felt there wasn't enough acknowledgement of challenges the district has gone through. Justin Smith is a parent in the district and created an organization calling for safer schools. Smith says he understands Dr. Saron isn't directly at fault for the controversies in the district, but that the misconduct was a symptom of leadership.
Mostly the community wants to know what happened, why it happened, and how the district in the future is going to prevent it from continuing to happen, and whether that's under the leadership of the current administrators or new ones.
Smith added he also is concerned for families in Chippewa Falls.
Don't know if they know these things. I don't know if they know there's pending litigation. I don't know if they know that that these are leadership issues that are more than just questions of fact. These are things really happened.
Smith hopes the school board and next superintendent will follow the law, protect students, and rebuild trust with the community. As for Dr. Saron, he'll begin his role in the 2026 and 2027 school year. Reporting live in the newsroom, Sam Swartz, WMTV 15 News.
Sam, thank you. Saron was previously the district administrator for the Chippewa Falls district from 2013 to 2015 before coming to Sun Prairie.